and welcome. Today we have with us Ms. Kalli Purie, who is the Chief Operating Officer of India Today Group Digital. Today she will be sharing with us her experiences of how it has been leading the digital arm of one of India's premier publishing houses, the India Today Group.
It's been very exciting and very dynamic, like the medium itself.
Right.
You know what the internet is like. Something is always changing on the internet. When I joined the company back 2 years ago, Twitter wasn't such a big deal. Now it's a huge deal. All celebrities have Twitter feeds and people are fighting wars on Twitter. We've got our own news buzzer service on Twitter. Facebook wasn't such a big deal. Everyone has a Facebook page and they're doing things with Facebook. Multimedia wasn't so huge. The fact that you're coming here and you're doing a video interview with me is a reflection of that. So the internet is a changing space and it's always exciting, but you've also got to be at the frontier, because if you're not, then you're not in the internet space. The other big development, of course, is the iPad and the tablets. I mean, the iPad came out 6 months ago, and now we've got all kind of other tablets coming out. BlackBerry is launching one, Samsung's launching one, and as a media company, you need to be in that space as well, right? So you have to start looking at applications. So you just can't ever be a veteran at the internet. You know, you're always doing something new. You're always learning something new. So it's been very exciting. Okay, there are two things. India Today Group as a whole is platform agnostic. We believe that we should be on every platform possible. And you can see that in the way the company has evolved. We started with print, we're in TV, we're in radio, we're on the internet. So we believe in that. On the internet as well, the strategy remains the same. In the sense that if we are available on the internet, we'll also be available on the mobile phone, we'll also be available on iPad, we'll also be available on HP Dream Screen, will be available on BlackBerry, will be available on any device and platform that is out there. Right. And I think the medium is still evolving. But I think in a couple of years' time, there will be a more concrete business model, which is not really quite there right now. It's a combination, an interdependent model, and that's the only way you can really stay afloat. So really speaking, it's a time of experimentation, and we have to go out and be in all the different devices and mediums that are coming out. Right. So with the India Today Group Digital, we're going full out with all kind of applications on the new devices that are coming out. Whether it's a digital newsstand or iPad or BlackBerry, we're working on all those things. I don't believe in just going and doing hygiene. You know, okay, let me just go and put an RSS feed on the mobile phone. I mean, those things you got to do those. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about new ideas and new things to do with these mediums, and that's what we're working on. That's point one. The second thing I think, which is going to become very big, and already is the multimedia side. So we have set up our own multimedia team. We of course have synergy with the TV side, so we get a lot of video footage from them, which can then be combined with our print news stories and then be put up on the web. We find that the web in our whole group is the best way to tell a story because you have the maximum tools available. On TV, you don't have print, you can't have depth, you can't have choice. You can't give the user, okay, you click what you want to. The internet allows you everything. So it allows us in a way to synergize all the things we're doing in the group, whether it's stuff on radio, whether it's TV, whether it's our archives, and put it all in one place. So it's slowly becoming the central point or the central pin of our whole organization. I don't know whether you've seen what we've done with the Obama visit. It became the converging point for all the editors from our group. Right. So if you wanted to know what people thought or what the top minds thought of Obama's visit, you had to come onto the India Today website and then you could see what editor of India Today, editor of Headlines Today, editor of Aaj Tak, editor of Mail Today, everyone thought. So it gives you a 360-degree perspective, and you can only do that on the internet. So I think that the web is going to become a central piece for the India Today group, where everything will converge and synergize. I think there's a misunderstanding in what he said. And it's amazing how misunderstandings are the ones that get quoted and all the good stuff gets left behind. But that's media for you. What he said is that we are not going to spend dollars to chase cents. Okay, what we meant by that is we are not just going to burn money. A lot of people on the internet just think, oh, okay, it's the internet, let's start going crazy, this is a new medium, let's get in a multimedia team, let's get in bandwidth, let's start streaming. That is not our way of doing business. We've never done business like that, okay? Our competitors do business like that. They've been burning money for the last 12 years. But what is the point of that, right? Today we are making as much revenue as they are, right? The whole point of doing business is that you are in a business to make a sustainable model, not just, burn money because you think it's a new business. So there's a misunderstanding in what he said. He said we will not spend dollars to chase cents, but we will definitely spend dollars if we see dollars, right? And we are spending dollars where we see dollars. So if we are seeing that there is a move in the internet towards applications, we are going to definitely invest in applications for iPad. And iPad applications are not cheap to develop. Multimedia, as you know yourself, is not a cheap arm to add to your business. But we believe that there is benefit there. And so we've added a separate multimedia team over and above what's happening on the television space in the internet side. So there's no change in policy. Carvale, we think, is a good investment. We think that in the internet e-commerce space, you've got to be number one, otherwise you're nowhere. We had a partner who we could work with to invest in. We found Carvale. We went in and invested. So this is a very clear indication that where there are dollars, we will spend dollars. But we're not going to spend dollars to chase cents. It's a waste of time. Right. Streaming video is a waste of time. What does it achieve? It just burns bandwidth, right? What money are you earning from that? Nothing. No, Headlines Today was not the last one we launched. The last one that we have worked on and launched is Wonder Woman, which is a collaboration of all our women magazines. We put together 5 women magazines. So we deal with women in all their different spaces. Cosmopolitan when she's young and sexy, and Good Housekeeping when she becomes a homemaker, and Harper's Bazaar when she's a fashionista, and India Today Women when she's a career woman, and Prevention for wellness and health and, taking care of the whole family's health. So we put all that content together in one portal and have created a space for women. We think that women in India today are going through a transition period. There is a transition where women are suddenly becoming working women, but the transition isn't full because they still also have to be the homemaker. So we think that they need guidance and help and expertise here. And we put all our 5 publications together to create this website. So you can interact with experts. You have community opportunities, you have content from all the different magazines. And it's quite a sticky site. It's still in beta stage. That's where we've added actually the multimedia team. So you can see a lot of the content that we create for the magazines. It also works very well in a video format. Like how to do your eyes smoky, for example, works much better as a video than as somebody explaining it to you. Or behind the scenes for a cover shoot. It's always fun to see what actually happened behind rather than the final product that you see. So those are the kind of things that we're exploring with multimedia on that side. With Headlines Today and all the other websites, the idea is to synergize and bring things together and to have 2 flagship portals, which was India Today and Aaj Tak. We've added a third, which is Wonder Woman, which will become a third sticky point for us. And then as we find that the sites start gaining traffic and traction, I think the idea is to make them into their own separate standalone verticals. That's lots of plans, as always. We're not in a position to share them. As you know, as a group, we're pretty low profile. We don't talk about things till they're actually done. And we'd rather that media and viewers, customers pick it up as it goes along. It always works better to, prove your point, prove the business, than to start talking about it and then have all these expectations on you without delivering. Obviously. So, we went into a paid content model in 2000. I think it was about 2000, 2001. And we launched a multimedia real-time newspaper. I think the idea is still fantastic. And if I ever get down to it, that's something that I would like to do. But imagine in 2001, what were you doing with multimedia? There was no bandwidth. So, all the videos that we would put on would just not get downloaded. And actually, it didn't work in that sense. We still got a lot of subscriptions for our online newspaper. And it was, of course, priced much more expensively at that time than what publishers are now discussing as micropayments. So I think it was early for its time. Then what we did was we restricted access to our content and put it behind a barrier. So if you were a subscriber, you had access to it free of charge. But you couldn't access it if you were not a subscriber. Now, of course, all the content is free. But there is a caveat to that. I think that it's very important for the content to be right for its time, and I think the content has to be exclusive. For example, I think people would be willing to pay for access to some of our specialized surveys in BT, Business Today and India Today. You would not be able to get access to, let's say, the best B schools in India for the last 5 years with different parameters, being able to search it and find that kind of information for yourself anywhere else. I think people would be willing to pay for that. Okay, so now we've got the willingness to pay, but you also got to make it easy for them to pay. If I have to get them in to pay with a credit card for 10 rupees, it's not going to happen, right? So I think that bit of the equation has to be sorted out. We as a group are probably the best place to do it because we have the plethora of content. So if we can then offer, okay, you have an account with us and you can download this Business Today content for 10 rupees and then you can download exclusive Cosmos sex survey pictures for another 10 rupees and it's just an account. You've paid the 200 rupees and it just keeps getting debited, then that works. So you can set up your own micro payment system effectively. And I think that, I know that on the devices such as iPad and some of these new ones which are offering digital magazines, that's not effectively, well, I don't know, it is in the internet space, but it's not internet in its pure sense. People are willing to pay for downloads, and we are getting, because we have an international edition of India Today on iPad, we are getting subscriptions for that, and it's growing at a phenomenal rate, much to our surprise, because we just launched it as a beta, and there are many things that we want to embellish it with. And we thought, the subscriptions will build slowly and we'll add those embellishments. But the subscriptions have already built up. Right. So now we are having to, speed up our embellishment plans and get the product to what we want it to be. Right. See, I think that, first of all, to put the record straight, we are making profit. Okay. Like I said, we do not spend dollars chasing cents. We are spending dollars, but we are making dollars, okay? I'm very clear on that. I think that your internet strategy has to be multi-pronged. You've got to have a mobile piece in the internet. We are very focused on the mobile. Our mobile is not a side division of what we do on the internet side. Because, the mobile side has a paid model. That's where the micropayments have worked the best for content, right? Because it goes through the operator billing system. Of course, they take the lion's share, which is a problem. But you have a payment system in place. So you have to have a mobile strategy if you're going to make money on the internet. I think the second piece of the equation, which works very well for our group, is that you have content available in all your different mediums, which are standalone. Okay. Now this is not advice to you, but you have set up your multimedia team specially for the website. This is an expensive operation, right? For us to get most of our multimedia content, we're getting it from the television side, and television is standalone. So this is extra. As long as you look at the internet as a curation medium rather than a creation medium, I think you have a higher chance of survival. Till there is such a large migration onto the internet that, advertisers and readers have no other option but to pay for it. That is not the case at the moment. So I think if you put those two things in order, you can have a revenue model, and we do. Very clearly. And all our experimentation has obviously paid off finally.